How do we work through challenging family situations? Wow, another great question, because again, a situation that commonly happens in families, and wonderful families too. You can have situations which are relatively challenging from time to time, and then there's family situations which are perhaps more acute in some form. So the first thing I would suggest is starting with acceptance. Because when we are in a family situation which has got some certain types of conflicting energies going on, our tendency is to come to some conclusion based on our own analysis, and then decide that different family members need to do or say or behave in certain ways for it to be right, because we've arrived at that conclusion. And so I would say, regardless of your analysis of your own family situation, step back from that and go into a space of acceptance that everybody is where they're at, and let go of your own analysis. Because your analysis may be right or may not be right. It doesn't matter. Release that analysis so that you can simply allow something bigger to unfold. And this is itself going to release a lot of tension, because this energy of tension which we can feel that this person should not be doing this and this other person should be doing this, we release that. And when that is released, there's actually more freedom and more space. Even without doing a single thing, you have contributed in a positive way to your family situation, because you've brought more space. Don't underestimate the power of that. Don't think that it has to be resolved in a certain way before everything is all good. Merely creating space is a very positive contribution, because it allows each member of the family to move through that situation in a way that is good for their own growth, because every family member is on a trajectory of growth, whether they're conscious of it or not. They are very much on a trajectory, and we don't want to come to any quick conclusions on where anybody else is at, because that creates judgment, that creates separation, that creates divisiveness, and none of that is going to help anybody. So the more we can step away from that and allow people to be who they are, now we have actually created a positive context for things to change in a good direction. The next thing I would suggest is, every family member, we tend to overemphasize their behaviors, including their verbal expression. In other words, what they said and what they did. Guess what? These are all beings who are much more than what they said, what they did, how they look. And so this is a great opportunity for us to look at every family member beyond their appearance into their essence. So it's almost like the infinite is telling us, I am in disguise in all these family members. Can you see through the disguise? Can you recognize me? I am infinity as this. I am infinity as this. So when we look past the appearances, past the behaviors, we can see them as essence. When we see our family members as essence, boy, suddenly there's a fundamental shift, because what happens is, previously there was a mind-based analysis which causes distance. This collapses the distance. When you see everybody's essence, you just feel like giving everybody a hug, because essence to essence, the only thing you can think of is, we are together. How cool is this? How precious is this? This unitive aspect is natural to essence. We don't have to do anything. We naturally feel that. And this leads to pure love. And isn't that what relationships are all about? You know, all kinds of relationships, certainly family relationships, are about helping us find pure love. And so, through this challenging family situation, what's happened is we've suddenly discovered essence, we've suddenly discovered pure love, we've suddenly discovered unity. And this can all happen without any apparent resolution of the situation. So don't hold your breath waiting for this whatever situation is going on, it has to be fixed. Then only I'm going to relax. Don't do that. Relax now. Go into the space of unity and realize that there is timing involved which goes well beyond your particular perspective. So there's a natural sense of timing, and there will come a time when the situation will ease itself. There will come a time when the situation will naturally de-escalate. Because there's always times when we feel this amplification of intense energy, and we have a tendency to go extreme with our emotions and judgments at those points. So do the opposite. De-escalate, find essence, connect, find pure love, and don't just stay with this concept of pure love in your own being. Take a moment to express that pure love in any way that seems appropriate. And this is going to look very different in each family. It's going to look very different with each family member. Whatever feels right to you is just perfectly fine. Express that love, convey in some reasonable, concrete way to the family members that you feel okay about whatever is going on. In other words, you're not putting pressure on them outwardly or inwardly that they got to do something. You're doing the opposite. You're saying, I'm fine, I'm okay with you as you are, with the situation as it is. And this is one form of expressing love directly. When this happens, I would say miraculous things can unfold and do unfold. And this is really suddenly seen as a blessing. The fact that there was an intense buildup, which we perceive as a challenge, being in the family, this intense buildup was actually a way for members to get cooked, right? And to develop faster. And the more we cooperate with that process, the more our own process happens much more smoothly, and B, we become a source of help and service to other family members. In fact, they can look upon us as an anchor, as a pillar, which they can derive strength from, derive inspiration from, and they can hopefully see the bigger picture thanks to your presence. So it doesn't mean you have to get into this mode of talking from a place as if you know everything, but it's really just who you are in that situation. That conveys everything. So I think when one operates from that place, the situation inevitably is going to shift, and it'll shift to a place where suddenly you come out at the other end of the tunnel and there's a lot more light. There's a lot more light around the family. There's a lot more light in every family member. And then that's when you say that, boy, this was a real blessing. This situation was a real blessing. So this is the possibility of how a family situation can develop and then blossom to something amazing. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.